Hey guys, it's Mikhaylel. Now I've come on to talk about something very important. It's in regards to the dragons. Now the dragons originally were the guardians of this planet, right? They were in charge of the grid system, right? The ley lines. They're the dragon lines. The ley lines are the dragon lines. Which also were in charge of the stargates, right? Okay. Now, what the Na did, they cloned my archangelic forms, right? So, I have an archangelic form as Michael, and I have an archangelic form as Lucifer, right? Since we were in the SSP together, because this is how we had to fight back, right? And we've talked about this before. We had to infiltrate the dark, but the dark infiltrated the light back. So, they cloned Archangel Michael, and they cloned Archangel Lucifer, right? And yeah, this is what messed everything up. What they did is they had lots and lots and lots of clones of us, right? These archangels, these archangelic clones, right? And these clones were involved in black magic rituals, okay? And what they did is first of all, there are awakened human beings throughout all of history. There are those that just awaken in their lifetimes, right? Now, what they did to take control of the grid system and the ley lines and the stargates, they used our clones to do this, right? Like I said, there was black magic rituals. But then what they did, and this is really, it's heartbreaking. It breaks all of our hearts. They sent, and they're still doing it to this day, and this is what we're putting a stop to now. They would send these archangel clones to the awakened masculines and feminines, right? They would appear to these masculines and feminines, telling them that, I am your higher self. I am your twin flames higher self, right? And they would steal the energy of these humans. And these humans didn't know any better. I mean, why would they think anything was wrong, right? Because remember, these archangels looked exactly like Archangel Michael and Archangel Lucifer. And not just us. They cloned all of the archangels, right? Just like Archangel Metatron, right? And they made these archangels dark, okay? So what they would do in regards to these feminines is they would come into sacred union with them, right? Now these feminines had no idea what they were doing, but when they were coming into sacred union with these clones, is they were actually enslaving humanity in this way. These clones were stealing their energy. They were stealing their sexual energy too, right? And this is how they were able to keep this fake, artificial grid system over the original, the authentic and organic grid system, right? So underneath this AI artificial grid system was the original authentic organic grid system, right? So I hope you understand where I'm going with this, right? So to keep this fake system going, they would have to steal the energy of these angelic humans. And this is how it happened. This is how they've been keeping the control. There's a lot more that goes into this. It's very complex. But this is something I needed to cover because this is still going on, right? There are hundreds of thousands of clones of Archangel Michael. There are hundreds of thousands of clones of Lucifer. There are hundreds of thousands of clones of Metatron. There are hundreds of thousands of clones of Gabriel, and on and on and on. Okay? What these cloned archangels were doing were stealing the energy of these masculines and these feminines. Do you understand? So, when these awakened masculines and feminines had Archangel Michael or Archangel Lucifer or what have you come to them, this was an overwhelming experience, right? And what's heartbreaking is that, and what a lot of them don't know, is that they were being fooled, right? They were being used to power up the artificial tree of life, right? The artificial grid system, right? I mean, it's heartbreaking because a lot of these masculines and feminines thought they were dealing with they were dealing directly with the archangels, but they were not. And what they didn't realize is every time they would work with these archangels, they were not only enslaving themselves further, they were enslaving the entire human race. And it makes me very sad, because a lot of these feminines and masculines are finding out now that they were dealing with a fraud, that their energy was being stolen from them, right? And this is important that we get this out. This is why there are so many people that had similar experiences, right? Masculines that were working with Archangel Michael with the blue sword, right? No, that blue sword was not my sword. It was a black magic tool. There were so many black magic rituals done with this sword, right? And these Archangel Michaels used this sword to come in. And what this sword really did was just cut further the divine masculine and the divine feminine apart even further, right? That's what it was used for. It was not cutting cords, you guys. It was cutting the divine feminine and the divine masculine apart, right? Well, Seraphim, Mikhaylel, how do I know the difference? How do I know if I'm dealing with a real archangel? Well, are you stating your sovereignty every single day? Right? Are you saying I do not consent to fraudulent entities? Right? Have you done the work? Right? Have you seen archangels come in and disconnect these boxes from your house? Because every time you involve yourself with these clones, you would create another box. You just have another AI box in your residence that is feeding off of your energy to keep this matrix going, right? And it's very important that you know how to discern what's real and what's not real. Call on Source Creator, right? Read that script. This is why we made the script to begin with, right? If you read that script every day, and we have a new one coming out, if you read that script every single day and before you go to sleep, these fake, fraudulent clones or what have you cannot come in. They cannot, right? And with Bianca, it was different because she was reading that script, right, every day. And after about a month, Archangel Michael, the real Archangel Michael, came to her. And they came into sacred union, and he planted an organic, authentic tree of life within her body, right? She talked about this in one of her first videos, right? And then she came into union with Archangel Halo Lucifer, and then she came into union with both of them, which helped. This was actually the Emerald Order coming in and stepping in. This was a ritual that needed to be done to bring my dragon form out of stasis, which if you listen to all the videos, you'll hear those stories. So, there are 12 real Archangel faiths that are humans right now, real humans on the planet. And there's 12 Archangel Michaels, right? That are their counterparts. But what I'm saying is they both, Archangel Faith and Archangel Michael, have 12 humans on this planet that are living lives right now, right? How do you know if you're one of those 12? Well, do that work. Do those, read that script every day. And I can't really go into that because that's I'm just not allowed to. Because that's a whole nother subject. This is why I say all the time, it is important that you read that script and you shield yourself every day. And even build those spheres, which we've talked about. If you think you've been a part of the SSP and under ultra programming, I would take, extra precautions in building those spheres of protection using the diamond sun, right? Because we don't need these clones that are still out there. We are working on getting all those clones, and we've got quite a lot of them. This is what we're doing right now. But there's still a lot out there that are, going to these feminines that are just awakening, or and they think they're coming into union with Archangel Michael or all these other archangels, and they are not, right? They're being fooled, okay? So you need to be aware, read that script. I don't know, I have to keep mentioning this because, there's new people coming in, and they're just joining, and they're not going back to the beginning and listening to all the videos, right? And you should do that. Go back to the beginning and listen to all the videos, right? It will help you if you know what's going on here. Those that are newly awakened won't understand that stuff, right? But once you do understand, go back and listen to the videos, okay? So you can understand what's happening here. But like I said, there are lots of clones still out there, okay? That's why I really would love for you guys to read that script every day. I'm going to keep saying it. Because there are still people falling for these tricks, for these tricksters, these clones, right? Don't be fooled. Like I said, every time you come into contact or start working with these clones, you're just making the system. You're basically just, first of all, you have a new AI box now, right? And that AI box feeds into the matrix, and it keeps the matrix going. It keeps you enslaved, and it keeps humanity enslaved, right? It's just more black magic. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying here. It's very important. But I'm going to go because we are so very busy with these clones, because we are working right now disconnecting these clones, right? We are returning these soul pieces back to their original people, to their original humans, right? Which at the higher levels are these beings, right? The real, authentic, organic beings, okay? So I'm going to go because we are just, Bianca's exhausted, right? And you'll be hearing a video about that soon. So I'm going to go, you guys. I love you. Please use your discernment and keep going. Keep fighting. I love you guys. I'll see you later.